Ayan. So, magandang hapon po sa lahat. Naririnig po ba tayo ng ating mga audience ngayong hapon? Sir Anthony, salita ka nga.
Mukhang malinaw naman. Ako ba, naririnig mo ako dyan, Sir Alfred?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay.
Ayan. So, simulan na po natin ang medyo bagong programang ito na pinamagatang Earth Science ngayon na. So, ako po si Sir Alfred, Science Education Associate mula sa High School Earth Science Group ng University of the Philippines National Institute for Science and Mathematics Education Development o UPNISMED. At kasama ko po ngayon si Sir Anthony.
Ako naman po si Sir Anthony, isang Science Education Specialist also sa UPNISMED. So nandito po tayo ngayon para sa second episode ng programang tinatawag nating Earth Science ngayon na. So Alfred, ipaliwanag muna natin yung tungkol dito sa ating bagong programa.
Ayan. So, yun nga, salamat sir, no. Nabanggit ko kanina na medyo bago ito, no. At kung nakita nyo kanina yung pinakaunang slide, ay episode 2 ito. So, baka nagtataka kayo, ano yung episode 1? So, yun ay naganap last year, April 2023, nung nagkaroon sa Pilipinas ng partial solar eclipse. So, anything na Earth and space related na news or Earth Science, no, ay tinatry nating ipaliwanag sa ating mga kababayan. So basically, yun, anything na Earth and space or Earth Science, ipapaliwanag ngayon na.
So kung may mga nasasagap kayong kahit anong balita or something na nag-viral or may video, kagaya nitong topic natin ngayon na sikat na sikat ito nung mga nakaraang araw, ano? Ipapaliwanag natin yung tungkol dito sa yung Earth Science nito. Hindi bukas, hindi sa makalawa, kundi ngayon na.
Ngayon na. Ngayon na. Ito naman ang tagline natin, sir. Ngayon na. So, ayun na. Pag-usapan natin ngayon na yung topic natin, which is yung pagbulusok ng bulalakaw sa Cagayan, ipaliliwanag. So, yun nga po. Kung nabalitaan ninyo sa news or kung kayo mismo ay namataan ninyo yung bulalakaw na yon, ay maswerte po kayo, no? Kasi once in a lifetime event po yung nangyari yon. And
napaswerte, no?
Oo nga po, para ma-refresh ang ating memories, no, kung ano nga ba yung nakita ng ilan ng ating mga kababayan doon sa bandang norte ng Pilipinas, ay panoorin po natin itong video clip mula sa TV Patrol.
Nagliwanag ang kalangitan sa ilang bayan sa Northern Luzon sa pagpasok ng maliit na asteroid 2024 RW1 sa atmosphere ng mundo nitong hating gabi ng Huwebes. Nakuna ng video ng ilang residente mula sa mga bayan ng Cagayan ang pagbulusok ng asteroid sa kalangitan. Kwento ni Karen Bea na taga-barangay Mareda, bayan ng Santa Ana, agad siyang lumabas ng kanilang bahay nang malamang may daraang asteroid sa kanilang lugar. Isang magandang tanawin din ang nabuo sa video ni Denison Makalan na matyempohan niyang dumaan sa ibabaw ng Pinakanawan River ang asteroid. Nasaksihan din sa San Fernando, La Union ang nasabing fireball. Gumamit pa umano ng kompas si Bayan Patroller Dwayne Hapson para tama ang kanyang direksyon sa pag-aabang sa asteroid. Ayon sa International Meteor Organization, isang bagong tuklas na asteroid ang 2024 RW1 na may 1 metro ang laki. Ito palang din ay ika-9 na beses na may isang extraterrestrial object ang nadiskubre bago pa pumasok sa mundo. Ayon pa sa European Space Agency, hindi naman nagdudulot ng pinsala ang maliit na asteroid.
Tuloy-tuloy po ang...
Okay, so nakita natin yung video clip mula sa TV Patrol. So dito sa episode na ito, ipapaliwanag po natin yan sa Earth Science ngayon na. Okay, so para po malinawan tayo, nag-imbita po kami ng mga ilang panauhin. Ang unang grupo po ay yung mga ilang observers po natin mula sa Cagayan na naka-video po or naka-observe nito, mga eyewitness po ito ng nasabing bulalakaw. So yun po yung isang group ng ating inimbita. And also, nag-imbita rin tayo ng isang eksperto. At yun po ay mamaya i-introduce natin. Isang astronomer po, na Filipino astronomer po.
Ayan. So ito ni, ipi-play na ba natin yung nakalap nating videos mula sa mga observers ng Cagayan? Ipi-play na ba natin, sir?
Sige, ipakita natin yung 3 sunod-sunod na video and then after nun, tawagin natin itong mga inimbita natin panauhin.
Okay, sir. So, ito na po. Ayan. Ulitin natin, no? Kasi very, very short clip lang yon. And wala itong sound, no? Sinadya po namin na wala itong sound para ang focus po natin is yung visual spectacle na ating makikita. So muli, ipi-play po natin yung mga videos. No? Sunod-sunod na po this time. Ayan. May isa pa tayong ipi-play, sir. Yung pinaka-viral ngayon, no? Ayan, sir.
Ayan. Okay. Sige, maraming salamat po kay Sir Marvin, yung pinaka-viral. Hindi siya makakasama ngayon. Pero may mga makakasama pong iba. Ito po yung 3. Pwede natin tawagin na, Sir Alfred.
Okay. Tawagin na po natin sa stage sina Miss Angel Lazo, Emmanuel Unite, sana'y tama po ang aking pagkakabigkas, no? At Sir Jonathan Galamay.
Okay. So, bale, para sa ating mga nanonood, siguro tanungin muna natin sila tungkol sa kanilang mga sari-sarili. Paano po ba, siguro mag-introduce muna tayo ng maikli, tapos sabihin niyo po sa amin, paano po ninyo nalaman ang tungkol dito sa dadating na asteroid? Kasi alam ko po, masyadong mabilis lang po yung mga pangyayari nun eh. Halos hapon or gabi na lang po nalaman, tapos sa kinagabihan na po ng midnight na yun dadaan. So, sige po, pwede po tayo magkwento. Unahin po natin si Ma'am Angel.
Hello po, ako po si Angel Lazo from Tuguegarao City. So, that night po kasi hindi talaga ako makatulog and nagbe-browse po ako sa Facebook. Then nakita ko po na may isang sharer po na nag-share ng post about dyan sa asteroid na yan na sabi, dadaan daw po sa Cagayan. So, sabi ko, interesting and why not? Di ko abangan sa bintana. Kung hindi man dumaan dun sa south part namin, okay lang, at least I tried. Pero nung nakita ko yun, super shock talaga ako kasi once in a lifetime ko lang siya nakita.
Ayun, narinig po natin si Ma'am Angel. Thank you very much po, Ma'am Angel. How about po si Sir Jonathan?
Okay. Good afternoon, Sir Anthony, Sir Alfred, and Sir Chris, and all of the viewers of this episode. My name is Jonathan from Kawayan City, Isabela, and I'm currently a third-year student studying at Cagayan State University, Cari Campus. First of all, during my observation of the Asteroid 2024 RW1 event, I was not actually aware that there will be an upcoming astronomical event this month of September. And then when I opened my Facebook account, there were many shared posts about the asteroid that will penetrate our Earth. Like, I was so pumped up and then nag-set up na po ako ng mga gamit ko for observation. And nakikita ko po yung mga posts ng Earthshaker, ng Science Connect, ganun po. So there are very informative publication sites and Facebook pages.
Okay, salamat po, Sir Jonathan. Balikan po namin kayo, Sir Jonathan, mamaya pag nagkwento na kayo. Si Sir Emmanuel po. Sir Emmanuel?
Hello, Sir. Magandang hapon po, Sir Alfred and Sir Anthony. Magandang hapon po sa inyo. At sa mga nanonood po ngayon, I'm from Ballesteros, Cagayan. I'm Emmanuel Unite. Nung time po na yon, napanood ko rin na dumaan po siya sa may newsfeed ko. And then yun nga po, sabi nila sa gawing eastern part po ng Cagayan, inabangan ko rin po talaga. Talagang hindi rin po ako nakatulog nung time na yun kasi excited din po ako at first time ko rin po makakakita ng ganun eh.
Okay, so mukhang pare-pareho sa sagot nilang tatlo, no, na nakita nila sa social media yung tungkol sa post na ito at uh, inabangan nga nila. May idea ba kayo kung sino yung nag-share ng post na yon? At nung tungkol sa Bulalakaw? May idea ba kayo kung saan galing yung original post na naging viral sa Pilipinas?
Meron
yes,
po, sir.
Saan galing? Sige, Sir Emmanuel.
Sa ano po, European Space Agency po, sir.
Ayun. Pero sa local scene.
Science Connect po.
Ayan, yung Science Connect. Yung original na pinagkuhanan doon. Ma'am Angel, may hula ka?
Sir, pero
okay, sige, sasabihin ko na. Bali, yung inimbita nating astronomer, si Sir Chris Go, mamaya ipapakilala siya. Siya po yung nag-share nito locally and then nalaman ng marami tapos saka siya kumalat tungkol doon. Okay, so siya rin yung inimbita natin na expert. So siguro isang round na lang po, tatanungin lang po namin kayo kung ano exactly yung nakita ninyo. So nagkaroon po ng dumaan na bulalakaw, ano po? Bali, pakisalaysay po sa amin ano yung itsura nung nakita ninyong bulalakaw? May nung dumaan siya, may nakita ba kayong kulay o gaano siya kaliwanag o yung mga ganung bagay po? Kung ano po yung matandaan ninyo? Bali, ang inaalam po natin ay gusto nating malaman ng ating mga nanonood kung ano mismo yung nakita ninyo. So, unahin po natin si Sir Jonathan naman this time. Sir Alfred, paki-spotlight na si Sir Jonathan.
Okay po, sir. So, during my observation, the meteor was a speck of green light at first. And the light coming from the meteor gradually increased into a more brighter light. And the coloration of the light of the meteor changed from green to white with bluish tint, and from with white with bluish tint to orange. And during my observation as well, there were no sound heard when the meteor reached the surface of the Earth. And also the observation site, the conditions of my observation site were cloudy. It was actually also rainy and very cloudy.
Okay, thank you very much po, Sir Jonathan. So, kahit pala cloudy no at rainy, tumatagos yung ganung kalakas na daan ng meteorite. Si Ma'am Angel po kaya?
Ayun, sir. Based on my video po kasi, super itim po ng kalangitan. Like, wala kang makikitang light. Nung dumaan na yung asteroid na yon, nag-color green po talaga siya na sobrang bright. Tapos sobrang liwanag na. Nung sa kulay green na yon, naging white siya na may bluish dent, like Jonathan said, na naging orange po before siya mawala. Tapos sobrang dilim ulit nung kalawakan nung nawala na yung asteroid.
Okay, mukhang exciting yun. Madilim, biglang lumiwanag, tapos madilim ulit. How about you, Sir Emmanuel po? Thank you po, Ma'am Angel.
Ganun din po, sir, yung na-observe ko po. Kasi nung time po na yun, sir, talagang sobrang dilim po. Medyo pa nga po nun maulap po. Pero nung talagang pagbagsak po niya, mabilis po Yung kulay niya po kulay green, hanggang sa naging orange po yung kulay niya. Tapos bigla po ulit dumilim.
So, sa lahat po ng mga sinabi ninyo, para-pareho niyo pong sinabi na kulay green siya initially, and then naging white, tapos may bluish tint, tapos walang sound, sabi niyo po, tapos cloudy nung time na yon, pero still, napaliwanag niya po yung buong paligid na parang sobrang liwanag. Masasabi niyo po ba na yung liwanag na ito ay parang naging umaga? Tama po ba? Ganun po siya kaliwanag? Yes. Okay, so lahat po ito ay mga information na nakita ninyo or mga observation po ito na nakita ninyo nung dumaan yung bulalakaw. So ngayon naman po sa next part ng ating episode, itatanong po natin sa isang expert, isang astronomer, yung mga bagay na gusto nyong maliwanagan tungkol dito. So bago po natin tawagin ang ating special guest, ay tatanungin ko po kayo isa-isa. Ano po ba yung tanong ninyo sa ating special guest na astronomer? Si Sir Emmanuel po mauna.
Ang tanong ko po sir kung halimbawa sir kung mas malaki po yung asteroid na tumama po dito sa atin, may chance po ba siyang makasira o paligid po, makaapekto?
Okay, so kung mas malaki pa, may chance ba siyang makasira or makaapekto, lalo na kung tatama siya sa city or sa Cagayan, halimbawa tumama siya o sa lupa. Okay, yun lang ba Sir Emmanuel?
Opo sir.
Okay, thank you very much Sir Emmanuel. Si Sir Jonathan naman.
I have two questions to Sir Chris later. Specifically, it's about how the asteroid 2024 RW1 was originally found and what procedures did they employ to locate it. And the second one is the possible research topics for this event.
Okay, mukhang maganda yung tanong ni Sir Jonathan. Interesting, may research na involved. Gusto natin yan. Opo. And lastly, thank you po, Sir Jonathan. And lastly, si Ma'am Angel po. Yan.
For sir, I have two questions. First is, why do people interested in the asteroid particles? And second question is, according po kasi sa mga pamahiin natin na once na may asteroid daw po, it can predict the future. Is it true po ba na may mangyayaring kalamidad after ng pagbagsak ng asteroid? Gaya ng nararanasan natin ngayon na sunod-sunod na pagdaan ng bagyo sa Pilipinas.
Okay, so clarify ko lang po. Ang una niyong tanong ay bakit interested ang mga tao sa siguro fragment ng meteor, no? Kung may makukuha man tayong fragment. At yung pangalawa ay totoo ba na it can say something about the future? So ito po yung mga tanong na ito ay sasagutin po ng ating astronomer. So magpasalamat muna po tayo sa ating tatlong special guest mula sa Cagayan, Sir Emmanuel, Sir Jonathan, and Ma'am Angel. Maraming salamat po sa pagbibigay ng time at pag-share sa amin ng inyong observation. So ngayon ay ibibigay ko na kay Sir Alfred para i-introduce ang ating invited expert para ipaliwanag ang patungkol dito sa bulalakaw na nakita ngayon na.
Ayan. Maraming salamat, Sir Anthony. So at this point, magpaalam na tayo sa ating mga Cagayan observers dahil ipapasok na natin ang mag-explain at sasagot doon sa mga katanungan nila kanina. So maraming salamat po ulit kina Ma'am Angel, Sir Jonathan, and Sir Emmanuel. Maraming salamat po. So yun nga po, papakilala na po natin ang ating expert na magpapaliwanag ng tungkol sa pagbulusok ng bulalakaw sa Cagayan. So, siya po ay galing sa Cebu City, Philippines. Nagsimula po siya sa kanyang pagiging amateur astronomer noong 1986. Ito ay nung huling nagpakita or during the last apparition ng Halley's Comet in 1986. So sa ating mga audience dyan, nakita niyo po ba yon? Halley's Comet, 1986. Hindi pa po ako buhay nun. So hindi ko pa nakita yon. Nagsimula po yung kanyang hobby sa astrophotography noong 1990. Siya po ang founder ng University of San Carlos Astronomical Society. Siya rin po ay isang member ng Division for Planetary Sciences ng American Astronomical Society. Siya po ang nakadiscover ng Red Spot Junior sa Jupiter noong 2006. So kung familiar po kayo sa Great Red Spot, meron pong smaller version nun. Ang ating expert po ang nakadiscover ng Red Spot Junior na yon. In 2015, the IAU or International Astronomical Union officially designated asteroid 2000 EL157 to 30100 Christopher Go. This asteroid was discovered on March 11, 2000 by the Catalina Sky Survey. So pinalitan po yung pangalan ng isang asteroid at ginawa ito or in-honor sa pangalan ng ating expert. Siya po ngayon ay isang adjunct professor sa Department of Physics ng University of San Carlos, Cebu. At siya po ang source ng impormasyon tungkol sa asteroid na namataan ng ating mga kababayan mula sa Cagayan at iba't ibang karatig na mga probinsya. Walang iba kundi si Sir Christopher Go. Magandang hapon po, Sir Chris Go.
Sir Chris, magandang hapon.
Magandang hapon kayo sa inyong lahat. First of all, I'd like to clarify that I was not really the source, but a friend of mine who does the computation sent me a message mga alas 4 ng hapon during that day, telling me that there's a chance na sa Pilipinas daw. But during that time, they were still doing more observations. And at around mga 5 o'clock, sigurado na we were able to find out that it will crash just east of Cagayan, specifically around 100 kilometers east of Cagayan. And I also have another friend. His name is Mark Boslow. I've known him for about probably 14 years. One thing is that during 2010, I discovered a crash, an asteroid crash in Jupiter, and this guy helped us in our research with that crash. So this guy is one of the foremost research in not only asteroid crashes, but even nuclear explosions. So yun ang expertise niya. So I got a lot of information like the angle, direction, and everything. So we got all this data. Now, if you notice, the asteroid that the one who discovered my asteroid is also the one who discovered this asteroid, yung Catalina Sky Survey, which is located in Mount Limon in Tucson, Arizona. Now, I would call these people the guardians of the planet because the main work of the Catalina Sky Survey is to look for, they call it NEO, near Earth near Earth objects or near Earth asteroids. So kada gabi, they usually discover 4 or 5 or new asteroids, and they try to just compute where the direction is, kung tatama ba ito. So that's why that I would say their work is important, and the reason is because we were lucky now na isang metro lang yon. You need at least 5 meters for it to basically reach ground. But normally, most of these asteroids, even up to siguro mga 20 meters, or even up to 100 meters siguro, they normally don't reach ground or they reach ground in pieces. Ang mangyari, because of yung malakas na pressure, pag nasa atmosphere na yon, di ba, it will burn up. It normally explodes and breaks down. So this is what usually happens with these type of objects. Now, why is this so important? If you remember what happened in Chelyabinsk, that was, I think, a 20-meter asteroid. Totoo naman, hindi nag-reach ng ground, but the explosion created a huge amount of damage. A lot of glasses were broken. Practically, the entire glass in probably 10-kilometer radius was broken. And a lot of people got injured. So even if the asteroid doesn't reach Earth, the explosion itself, and there was also the one in 100 years ago, the Tunguska event, which was also, I think, 100-meter asteroid, which basically leveled, was it 100-kilometer forest? So buti na lang, it happened in Siberia na walang tao doon. So walang masyadong damage during that time. But actually these type of asteroids happen quite often, although I would say that may siyam na discover before they crash into Earth. On an average siguro limang ganitong asteroid, most of them not discovered previously, that fall on the Earth. So we call these events bolide. So these are because normally kung maliit, it's just a meteor. yung bolide is mas malaki yon. So you should also remember that so to get the terminologies correct, kung yung object nasa outer space, tinawag yon ng asteroid. Pag falling down siya at yung nakita mo na yung brightening up, it's called a meteor or a bolide if it's bigger. Kung nasa ground na, tinawag yon ng meteorite. So itong tatlong pangalan basically shows where the object is whether it's in space or nasa loob na sa atmosphere, falling down, o nasa ground na. So this is just a clarification.
Apo, Sir Chris, sabi niyo po, especially to kasi isa ito dun sa siyam na na-discover bago pa na-predict yung pagtama. Instead na tatama siya bago na-discover. Tama po ba?
Yes.
So,
yes.
So meaning, it showcases yung capacity natin na ma-detect bago tumama. Tama po ba yun?
Yes. Pero kulang pa rin because if you notice, if I say 3 per year, and I would say yung 9 was discovered in the last 5 years, we're still missing a lot. These guys, actually 2. There's I think Lincoln Sky Survey. The one in both of these are in Arizona, and the other one is the Catalina one in Mount Lemon. I had a good fortune to visit Mount Lemon over 10 years ago. Siguro I was there because I have friends who work there. That's why also I got the asteroid because some of the people who work there, like Richard Kowalski actually discovered 3 of the 7 of the 9. In fact, of the 9, 5 were discovered by the Catalina Sky Survey.
Sir, yung ginagamit nilang telescope, gaano kalalaki itong telescopes na pinag-uusapan natin?
It's I think at 1.5 meter. It's astrograph. So it's a fast, wide field telescope. So what they do is, if you go to my Facebook page, I have images there of the Catalina Sky Survey and a video of Richard Kowalski explaining what they do. Everything is automatic. They take a picture every night on different places, different region, usually on the ecliptic, because this is where most of the asteroids are, in the ecliptic. And what it does is, they have a software that, today we took this image of this area of the sky, and it would basically after a few days subtract, so they will know if there's a motion or something's happening. So that's how they do it. Everything is automatic, and it just flags, there's an asteroid here.
So itong sa case nitong sa ating sir na nakita sa Cagayan, gaano katagal yung lead time nito, sir? Parang
as I said, it was discovered the day before.
So ganun lang yung warning pala natin.
Yeah, the day before it was discovered, then we found out that I think around 4 o'clock in the afternoon our time. That's about midnight, just past midnight Arizona time, or 2 a.m. Arizona time. The following day, that's when they found out, because you need different data sets so that you can get an orbit. Minimum 3 yun 3 data observation before you can have a good orbit. Then as you get more data, you can refine. The last image of this comet before it crashed was taken 2 hours before crash. It was taken in Australia. So it was captured in Australia, and that was why from Australia it was on its way here. Ganon.
Ang galing. So nasagot na po natin yung kanina kung ang tanong ay paano nahahanap, ano yung procedure sa pag-locate, at kung mas malaki pa, mas damaging. So nasagot na natin 'yon. So may isa pang tanong, sir, na bakit daw tayo interested kung sakali mang may fragment na makuha dun sa asteroid?
Actually, we're interested in 2 things. The first major reason why we're doing is because of survival. Let's say we have a 1 kilo, something like Apophis. 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 Yeah. Apophis is a asteroid that might hit us, which is big. Well, if Apophis hit us, it's going to be catastrophic. We're going to have 100 meters tsunami, probably the destruction of a region if ever it hits, a region. Yung earthquake ng Sumatra or Japan will be nothing compared to a asteroid impact. Remember that the dinosaurs died or were wiped out because of a 100-meter asteroid that crashed in the Yucatan Peninsula. So
Yung
in our
Apophis
case,
ay 300, more than 300 meters daw.
Yeah, 300 meters. Well, it's not as big because 100 kilometers yung sa ano eh. But yung 300 meters, that's major eh. You'll probably have a 100-meter tsunami if it hits the Pacific Ocean. And it will have a lot of impact eh. Practically, a region, this area, grabe yung damage. So we need to track. And the reason also why we need to discover this, we need to figure out a way to basically deflect the asteroid. It's not as if you just send a nuclear bomb and it will vaporize. It's like you take yung triangle na paputok.
Solar sail?
Yung
paputok
triangle na paputok. Labintador. You try to use that on a mountain. So that's the equivalent. If you see, our nuclear bombs may be powerful, but these asteroids are huge. You could hindi yun yung nuclear bombs na yun. So in fact, the worst is that during the DART experiment, was it last year yung DART experiment, where NASA sent a satellite to hit an asteroid, they found out that the asteroid is not solid eh. It's just a clump of material eh. So if you hit it will just explode and reform. So it's useless. So the other way is really to basically finesse, let it move its object. And one of the ng possibilities that we can do is to have a small satellite to orbit around that asteroid so that it will probably use the gravity to deflect the asteroid.
So maglalagay tayo ng body sa tabi niya para ma-nudge siya a bit at hindi na tumama.
Using gravity because you cannot use a rocket eh. It's too big. It's too big. So finesse lang because even example you need a small window for it to hit Earth eh. If it goes out of that window even by a few arc seconds, then lusot tayo. But the thing is, we need to discover these asteroids. Hindi pwedeng isang araw eh. You cannot, you have to decide on making a satellite. You have to launch it. All these take time. The earliest we can do is probably 1 year. So these guys, they always spend all the night searching for asteroids. That's why we discovered Apophis. This is one of the asteroid that might hit us in the 2060s.
So Sir Chris, summarize natin, no? Mayroon palang mga scientists na nag-aabang talaga ng mga na tumitingin sa langit looking for asteroids na pwedeng magkaroon ng impact sa Earth. And then once na nakuha nila yung data na yon, dinidisseminate ito para ma-monitor kung halimbawa gusto nating tignan kung saan siya babagsak. So ito exactly yung nangyari sa atin. At we are very thankful po Sir Chris dahil shinare niyo po itong information na to. Alam ko mga bandang alas 4, alas 5 ng hapon parang maingay ang Facebook nun eh. Tapos bandang alas 9, alas 10 may information na tayo na sa Cagayan siya babagsak. At shinare yan sa mga tao na nasa Cagayan. At yun nga po, meron na pong mga nakapag-observe. Marami pong nakatake ng video. So yun po.
And you notice one thing, when they discover an asteroid, di ba in many cases na they usually hide the data daw in the movies nga or isa lang tao na makadiscover.
Sekreto po, opo.
No, in fact, when this was discovered, it had to be decimated. It was public because they need follow-up. And many of the people who are actually doing it, they publish it immediately. The one who compute, because these are all public information. It was, the Catalina Sky Survey may have done the discovery, but it was the other observers that allowed us to find out nga tatama yun. So hindi lang isang observation na alam na natin tatama na yun. In fact, I think there were about 8 observations before sabi nila, tama talaga.
So parang habang dumadami yung observation, nare-refine yung sinasabing orbit,
Yeah.
malalaman natin
Yeah.
kung tatama talaga siya.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no such thing as you discover one, then tatama na diretso. No. It's a series of observation from different groups all over the world. So there's actually a mailing list for that to receive email ganon na okay, this group discovered this earth possible near earth object. So yung lahat they will start observing, then they get data. From all the data you can actually plot the information using there's a website yung for small bodies ng JPL. So you can plot the ephemerides and everything, and there you can discover tama ba yun or hindi.
Okay. So habang nakikinig tayo dito sa sharing ni Sir Chris, tanungin muna natin itong mga kung meron tayong tanong mula sa mga audience natin. Paki-comment lang.
There's one last thing. I just want to comment because I think there was this the lady who said na does this mean anything? Ganon and ganon.
Yes, sa ating future.
Will it predict the future? Well, if there's a comet that's heading towards us, yeah, it will predict our future. That kung tatama yun, maraming mamamatay. Pero other than that, that's all. These things falling into the earth is quite common. Hindi naman itong. In fact, I think there was a study. I'm not sure the exact amount, but we get tons of materials falling from the heavens every night, and probably in a year we have 2 or 3 bigger than 1 meter that hits the earth. So something like this is common. It's just like comet, di ba? Comet, kung may comet daw, bad luck daw yun, ganun or ganun. At any given moment, there's probably about over 24 comets visible, di ba? So, I mean, does it mean that araw-araw may bad luck? So, it doesn't make sense.
Times.
Yeah. So, these things, as they say, they don't portend to anything. These are like natural things. It's just like somebody would walk in front of you. May meaning ba yun? Yun nga. Yun lang ang So, there's no such thing as meanings for these things.
Sir Chris, isa sa mga tinanong ay kung ano daw possible research topic dahil nga dumaan na sa sky ng Pilipinas ito at meron tayong mga observations. Ano yung mga possible research topic daw na magagawa natin tungkol dito?
Well, right now, with this case, it's difficult really because you really need big telescopes to do observations for this. These are really for big guns. Most of these observatories are in Europe, Japan, and the Americas. So because most of these objects are very faint. Example, when they discovered this object, this was I think 18th magnitude, which is way beyond even amateur instruments.
So parang professional level po pala ito.
This is professional level.
Speaking of your
there's also there's one other thing.
Ahead,
I mentioned 2 things important. The first was ganon yung impact
survival.
And the survival, and the second, of course, I think this is what you about yung meteorites. Unfortunately, there's no chance we'll get this meteorite because it crashed in the ocean. So no way are we gonna get it. But these meteors are very valuable because number one, we learn a lot from these meteorites. If you notice, many of these meteorites, or almost all, contain organic compounds. And in fact, we've seen amino acids on these meteorites. It's been noticed that, I just want to say something that if ever you get a meteorite crash, first of all, don't touch it. And as much as possible, use a plastic and basically wrap it. In many cases, if the meteorite is fresh, mabaho yun. It has smell. This is because of the organic chemicals in it. So, parang rotten smell, ganon, because of the organic chemicals that are in the, yung meteorite. So, in fact, the scientists need to get it as early as possible because before ma-contaminated yung compounds which are really in the meteorites, they need to get it as fast as 24 hours. So it's best it's vacuum sealed. So, but mostly these things, it'll be in the ground and you have to look for it.
Okay.
It'll take time. It'll take time.
Ayun, ang dami nating natutunan. At tanungin natin, Sir Alfred, meron pa tayong ilang tanong na gustong malaman ng ating mga audience. Pinost kanina ni Ma'am Monique. Pakitingin nga. Ito yung nakalista dun sa ating chat.
Sige po. So, isa-isahin po natin yun, no? Ito yung una. Ayan. Saan daw po nanggaling ang asteroid?
Well, asteroids are basically the debris of what's left of the formation of the solar system. So when the solar system formed, and we've seen this in other stars when it forms its own planetary system, not everything becomes a planet. So, example, in the case of our solar system, the region between Mars and Jupiter, there's a field of asteroids there because hindi nag-form ng planets doon because of the influence of Jupiter. Right now, there are probably about 300,000 asteroids, but mostly yon mga malalaking asteroid. May maliit naman na asteroid na that basically moves all over because of the most of these orbits are random, basically chaotic because of the if for example if two asteroids hit each other, then the debris will basically be pulled off and basically be thrown into the inner solar system, where they will orbit and orbit until they hit one of the planets or they're thrown out of the solar system. So the biggest source of the asteroids is really the asteroid belt. The second source is the Kuiper belt, but most of these are more ice comets that come from the Kuiper belt than the Oort cloud. So, but most of these rocky asteroids come from the asteroid belt.
Thank you po. May isa pa pong tanong si Sir Alfred.
Ayan. Pangalawang tanong po mula sa ating mga nakalap na questions. Delikado po ba ang pagbagsak ng asteroid? I think nasagot nyo na ito kanina, pero baka pwede nating i-reiterate para sa ating mga audience.
Well, the damage of the asteroid, as I said earlier, it depends on the size. Kung mas malaki, mas catastrophic. So, in fact, if let's say yung Apophis, which is 300 meters wide, if it hits Earth, then we can get a mega tsunami. The reason is because it's not only the weight of the asteroid, but also how fast it is moving. Most of these asteroids are orbiting in terms of, let's say, hundreds of kilometers per second. Plus, we have the Earth that is also moving, and if, let's say, parang dalawang truck na nagbangga, malaking damage yun . So, kung mahina lang yung, the asteroid is moving faster than a bullet . So, you're talking about an object traveling kilometers per second. So, that's why you get a lot of damage, not only because of its size, but because also of how fast it's moving. Yeah.
Tama.
F equals to MA.
Tama. Okay, yung last na tanong natin, Sir Alfred.
Okay. So, bakit daw po sa Cagayan lang nakita ang pagbagsak ng asteroid?
Well, the reason is because that's where the asteroid fell. So, but it's also interesting because we really need to find out how far. You can actually use trigonometry to compute. Remember, the asteroid example can actually be seen. I mean, it could have been seen in Cebu, but the thing is, it was still very faint when it crossed over Cebu. So, ang mangyari is, the asteroids need to be at least 80 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. Then it starts to burn. Then it becomes bright. Then you can see it. So I think the farthest we saw the asteroid was in Metro Manila and Bicol. So that's probably around 200 kilometers, which is probably the angle remember, so you can use actually number one the triangle system, but you have also to bear in mind that there's also the curvature of the Earth. The curvature you can actually compute from the diameter, radius of the Earth, or the radius of the Earth, and you divide it by, or the distance. Example, the distance between your location to the area. You can get the angle by dividing the circumference of the Earth with your yung distance mo. So you can get basically the angle plus the yung 80 kilometers the distance. You can triangulate using arctangent.
Sir Chris, may nakita kaming video na sinabi nyo kanina na nasa wall ninyo. Ito po ba yung telescope na ginamit sa pag-discover? Tama po ba?
Yeah, that's the telescope. Yeah.
Sige, pwede na ba nating ipakita kung ito nga?
Yes, sir.
The video.
I-up na po natin yung
video.
The
video shows the control room, not the it shows the control room. But I have a picture of the telescope itself.
Gusto niyo po i-share, Sir Chris?
How do I do that? Just go. Why don't you do it? You just go to my website, my Facebook page, and it's there. There's a video. And there's also, before that, there's a picture of the Catalina Sky Survey. It's a white telescope.
Okay po. Sige, hinahanap na po natin.
Ito po ba, sir, yung 45-second na video na shinare niyo po?
Yes.
Okay. So, i-up na natin, Sir Anthony.
Sige.
Okay.
As you can see, here is a 1 degree on the side. Telescope is a 60-inch f2. Yes. So the projection we're using here makes our square fields look like rectangles. Most of the colors you see are previous night's coverage. Typically only show the previous 5 nights. So the red ones are last night, the orange ones are 2 nights ago, the golden ones are 3 nights ago, yellow, and so on. So it goes further back into the past. What we have found through experience is that we can observe part of the sky, and then 5 nights later it's essentially virgin sky again. So we don't tend to only look at the last 5 nights.
So mini-monitor pala nila ito gabi-gabi, Sir Chris, ano? Doon sa monitor.
Every night.
Every night. Kasi kung may gagalaw, candidate yun na asteroid.
Yeah. In fact, when we were there, they discovered, I think, 2 asteroids. In that time we were there. So these guys are their machine, their telescope, everything, software is geared for this.
Ayun. So Sir Chris, i-summarize lang natin yung nangyari, ano? So nakita nila yung asteroid dun sa observation nila. And then nakita nilang nag-move yung isang dot. Tapos na-flag siya as a possible candidate na asteroid na pwedeng... So, nagkaroon muna ng maraming observations and then...
Actually, the reason why they found out that it was because it was fast-moving. So, the reason why it's fast-moving, then they say, oh, it must be close by. When an asteroid moves fast, so remember, they have two data sets before they say, okay, there's an asteroid.
So, may fast-moving na... parang dot dun sa screen nila, candidate yun na asteroid, and then ino-notify nila yung ibang observatories para mag-make ng mas marami pang observations. And then pag relatively certain na sila, sa kanila i-disseminate yung information.
Yeah.
So sa
actually there's a group there that you can really see, there's a 50% chance that this will hit, then 75-90%, okay, 100% chance. Then location dayon. So we get a location, then okay, this is the location. Ganon.
Sir Chris, na-download na namin yung picture ng telescope, so pakita natin. So ito po ba yung klase ng telescope? Yan ba mismo o kamukha lang yan?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one.
I was there.
Ayan,
that's the
telescope pala niya, no? Yung tao nasa lower right, kitang-kita natin. Mas malaki pa sa kanya yung telescope. So, ganyang klaseng equipment pala ang kailangan para maka-detect ng asteroids na mga maliliit as a small as 1 meter. Okay,
That's about 1.5 meters.
Wow, ang laki din. Sa Pilipinas ay meron tayong halos 1/2 meters lang po ang meron tayo sa Pilipinas.
20 inches, mga ganun.
Okay, so halos patapos na po tayo sa ating episode at sana po ay ang ating mga taga-subaybay ay naliwanagan. So ngayon po ang pinag-uusapan natin ay tungkol sa bulalakaw na nakita natin at ipinaliwanag natin ang earth science nito ngayon na. So si Sir Chris po, ang ating invited guest, ay nilinaw sa atin kung ano yung mga detalye tungkol dito. Sir Chris, bago po tayo mag-end ng ating session ngayon, meron po ba kayong mga gustong sabihin pa sa ating mga nakikinig?
One thing I would like to request, because right now I'm asked by Mark Boslow for more data sa I really need accurate azimuth of the observation. As much as possible, the more accurate, the better, so we can basically triangulate if our computations are correct. This is what's important in accurate ba, so that in the future we will know na we can refine what we're doing, and we will be able to basically in the future, if it's really a bigger asteroid, that we can forewarn people to basically evacuate or do something in case that there's a chance that this asteroid would hit.
Okay, so in this case po, pwedeng i-contact kayo directly, Sir Chris, or pwedeng din through us sa UP NISMED Observatory if you want to submit any reports related dito sa RW1 2024 asteroid. Okay, so yun po. Salamat po ng marami, Sir Chris, sa pagpapaunlak sa aming invitation. Marami po ang nalinawan sa inyo, lalo-lalo na po ang ating general public na talagang naghahanap ng information patungkol po dito sa nakita nating mga asteroid or bulalakaw na dumaan sa himpapawid ng Cagayan. Okay, thank you very much po. At Alfred?
Ayan, maraming salamat po once again, Sir Chris, sa pagpapaunlak sa aming imbitasyon upang malinawan ang ating mga kababayan, especially sa mga naka-witness nito, kung ano nga ba yung dahilan kung bakit nagkaroon ng bulalakaw na dumaan sa Cagayan. So, maraming salamat po ulit, Sir Chris. So, dito na po nagtatapos ang ating episode 2 ng Earth Science. Ngayon na, kung saan ipapaliwanag ng ating mga eksperto ang anything Earth and Space or Earth Science related. Hindi ngayon, hindi bukas, kundi ngayon na.
So, Earth Science ngayon na.
Ayan, maraming salamat po. Paalam.
Thank you po.